Thanks for stopping in at Warehouse and Operations as a Career again. I'm your host, Marty, and we have a lot of ground to cover today. I hope everyone is having a great week. Can you believe we're almost through the first month of the third quarter of 2025? What week are we in? Let's see, 29. Week 29 is coming to a close. Today I thought we'd talk about two different positions. Last week, we spoke to several different tasks within the industry, so as discussed, I thought we'd dig in a little deeper. I had a couple of questions about the frontline management positions, some kind of entry to management job task. So, first up, let's talk about becoming a frontline supervisor, and we'll work ourselves over to the global logistics world. Now, these two roles couldn't be more different in some ways. One's rooted right in the daily warehouse hustle, and the other is all about managing the flow of freight across oceans and international borders. But both roles are vital to keeping the supply chain moving, and both can launch incredible careers. Let's get started with the role many of us are closest to. The frontline supervisor. Most frontline supervisors don't start out as supervisors. They start as order selectors, packers, forklift drivers, or let's see, what else? Maybe material handlers. They know the floor. They know the work. They've came up through the task, and they've earned the respect of their team by doing the job well and consistently. So how do you get there? Remember me always talking about being that employee? On time for every shift, happy, that strong, positive outlook? We have to master every role we're in. Now, that doesn't mean that we are the most productive or the best necessarily. It means we understand the mechanics of it and how to accomplish it. Be the associate others look to. Show up early, hit your numbers, and be the one your supervisor can count on. Communicate. Learn to speak with confidence. Be respectful to coworkers and leaders, and don't shy away from constructive feedback. An important part of communicating is listening, and listening may be the most important aspect of communication. We have to volunteer for responsibility. Want to be seen as leadership material? Step up for tasks like training new hires or leading a safety meeting. As small as it seems, speaking during the startup and safety meetings will be noticed by both our management team and your peers. People want someone to follow. We've got to understand the bigger picture. Learn your KPIs or key performance indicators. Understand the metrics. Know why the shift must hit its numbers and how your role contributes to the success of the warehouse. Be open to learning. You know how things get done, but you do not know everything behind the curtain. If you are already dependable and consistent, leadership will notice. But don't be afraid to express interest in moving up either. Many frontline leads get their first shot just by saying, "Hey, I'd like to learn more about supervising." And think about it. If we're doing a great job, our boss can count on us, knows we're going to get the job done for them. Why would they come see us about leaving them? We have to share our plans and goals with them. If you like looking at advantages and disadvantages, or what do you call them, pros and cons? Well, let's talk about that for just a minute. First up, career progression or that next step could be our first thought. This is the gateway role into leadership. From here, you can grow into warehouse manager, operations manager, or even into roles outside the warehouse in HR, safety, or logistics. Another advantage or pro is skill development. You'll develop soft skills like conflict resolution, de-escalation, scheduling, communication, and coaching. Skills that translate to every industry. Then you have respect and responsibility. You become the go-to person. the one who answers questions and helps keep the team on track. That respect can be very rewarding. And of course, better pay and hours. While it varies, most frontline supervisors receive a pay bump and are often on a more consistent schedule than hourly warehouse workers. Many times, quarterly, annual, or incentive bonuses could be on the table. And as with anything, there may be a couple of cons. I guess it depends on how you're really looking at it. You're in the middle now. You answer to your managers and also support your team. Sometimes that's going to mean delivering tough messages going both ways. Longer hours and more stress are possible. Supervisors often stay late to finish reports, walk the floor, or resolve issues. You're no longer off when the shift ends. Oh, and a quick tip. Never divide out your hours to your salary. It's apples and oranges, and we're on a path here. Accountability. If your team doesn't hit productivity or quality targets, you're the one who has to answer for it. And that pressure can be intense at times. We have to be prepared to have difficult conversations. Coaching, correcting, and even disciplining associates can be uncomfortable. But it's part of leadership. And this is a tough one. Maybe we used to do the same things we're speaking to our associates about. Maybe we used to do it with them even. Still, for many people, the trade-offs are worth it. If you want to grow in this industry, becoming a frontline supervisor is often our first big step. And it kind of sets the foundation for everything that comes after. And real quick, I want to throw in the importance of listening again. Learning to listen. I mean, really looking at somebody and hearing them is hard to learn. Don't be listening and thinking of your response at the same time. I feel the best advice that I can give anyone is to learn to listen. And how can it set you on your career path? Once you're a frontline supervisor, doors start to open. It can point you towards operations manager, warehouse manager, trainers or safety coordinator, even recruiter or HR support, project lead roles for implementations or transitions. You learn how to lead people, manage time and performance, and solve problems in real time. These are the skills companies want in their leadership teams. With the right attitude and a few years of experience, the next step may be much closer than you think. Now let's shift gears to a very different kind of leadership. Becoming a global logistics manager. While the frontline supervisor is walking the floor, the global logistics manager is tracking containers from China to California, routing shipments, navigating customs paperwork, and making sure goods arrive on time and intact. This role operates at a, we'll say 30,000-foot view. It's less about boxes on a pallet and more about the movement of freight on ships, planes, trucks, and containers around the world. What does a global logistics manager do? Let's look at a few of the 1,000 different tasks. There's freight movement. We coordinate the transportation of goods internationally. Vendor management. Work with freight forwarders, customs brokers, and ocean carriers. Then you have a lot of compliance. Ensure goods meet import-export regulations in every country. Scheduling. We got to plan the shipments months in advance and react quickly to any type of delay. As with anything, there's cost control. Negotiate rates and optimize shipping methods to control budgets. Tracking and reporting. Use software and dashboards to track shipments and generate performance reports. Unlike the frontline supervisor role, a global logistics manager typically requires a formal education. A bachelor's degree, often in supply chain management, business administration, or international business, could be required. There's a lot of certifications like the Certified Supply Chain Professional, or CSCP, or International Trade Certification. Software skills, knowledge of systems like SAP, Oracle, or transportation management systems. Those are pretty critical. Experience. Most start as logistics coordinators, import-export clerks, or shipping analysts and work up to the manager level. The great thing is that our companies may have programs and help us obtain that education. We've been a great employee. They've invested in us and will want to keep us. Remember, we've been talking to them about our goals and plans. This isn't the first time that they've heard, this from us, that we want to advance. A few pros to the position. High earning potentials there. Strategic influence. You're a key part of business success. If you fail, products don't move. That responsibility comes with status and recognition. A variety of work. No 2 days are going to be the same. One day might be port delays, the next day negotiating new contracts with carriers. And then you have that global perspective. You gain an understanding of how economies and global trade work, which can position you for international roles or even executive leadership. And I guess if you want to call them cons, things like high pressure. Delays, tariffs, storms at sea, many things are outside your control, but you are still expected to solve the problem. Work-life balance. Time zones don't sleep. Freight might land in the middle of your night. You have to expect emails and calls during off hours. And there could be some complex regulations. Import-export laws can change quickly. Staying compliant requires constant learning. There could be limited entry points without some of that education that we spoke about. Unlike operations where experience might carry you further, this path usually is going to ask for formal qualifications and technical know-how. And as for a career path, this role can open up some high-level supply chain and executive opportunities. Things like Director of Global Supply Chains, VP of Logistics, Procurement and Sourcing Management, International Trade Compliance Officers, Operations Director International. And while it starts global, it can bring you closer to the boardroom as well. Executives increasingly want leaders who understand the costs, risk, and complexity of global logistics. With the right combination of experience and strategic thinking, this path can take you anywhere from the port to the penthouse. So what's the takeaway today? If you are working the warehouse floor and thinking, what's next? Look at the Front-Line Supervisor role. It's often the next natural step and a real launching pad for leadership. If you are someone with a passion for strategy, numbers, and international business, or maybe you're working in shipping or receiving and want to level up some, exploring a path towards global logistics management could be the right choice for you. Both paths matter. Both paths offer rewards and challenges, and both prove that in this industry, there's room for all kinds of growth. Whether you're leading a shift or coordinating global freight, you are part of the backbone that keeps the freight moving. And isn't that what warehouse and operations as a career is all about? Helping individuals discover what's possible and giving you the tools to get there. Until next time, stay focused, keep learning, and never stop growing. Stay safe this week and every shift. And I hope to see you back here with us next week.